And welcome everybody to the West Gym here at Simon Fraser University. It's GNAC game time once again. Thursday night basketball from atop Burnaby Mountain. Howard Samura here with you, soon to be joined by our in-game analyst, Jacob Lazar, and we will be tipping off here soon. But Simon Fraser returning home after that elusive first conference victory. It came a week ago today in Fairbanks, Alaska. Simon Fraser able to come through with a victory over the host Nanuks. Simon Fraser coming through with the 78-69 victory, and then two nights later in Anchorage, dropping a tough one there to the host Seawolves, 68-59. But head coach Steve Hansen's club in a situation or a position today to move out of sole possession of last place in the GNAC standings with a victory today over the visiting Northwest Nazarene Nighthawks of Nampa, Idaho. Simon Fraser coming into the game with a 1-6 conference record. Northwest Nazarene coming in at 3-4, but there are a host of teams, Alaska, Central Washington, and Western Oregon, all playing teams higher than them in the standings and all sporting 2-5 records today. So a victory by Simon Fraser would almost assuredly take them out of sole possession of the basement in the conference. And as everyone around these parts would hope, a resurgence for the Red Leafs here and a nice run here over the final half of the campaign as we get closer and closer to the opening tip here from the West Gym. Some of the developments over the last week, certainly the fine play of sophomore guard out of Mississauga, Ontario, Elliot Demaculangan, the 6'4 guard, has started the last 6 straight games in the conference, and in Alaska had a terrific 2 games. He averaged 19 points, 3.5 rebounds. Just did a terrific job all around. 13 of 22 from the field, 8 of 15 from beyond the three-point arc, and 4 of 4 from the free throw line. So a really good job for Elliot Demaculangan, and expect to see Elliot in the starting lineup today. In fact, the starters just announced for both teams, and we'll go through those with you right now. David Penny, the junior guard, leading his team in a number of categories, will continue his ability to find a way into the starting lineup. He will once again have his name called in the starting group, wearing number 3, of course. The tremendous rookie, Emmanuel Oladele, 6'6", 205, the freshman out of Ridley College in Niagara Falls, Ontario, set to get another start as well. It will be his 5th start in 8 games this season. Also in the starting lineup, the senior Jamal Wright, the 6'5 guard forward, who has put forth some real solid numbers. He's shooting 50% overall from the field, 28 of 56. It's 10.1 points per game, 3rd in scoring on the Simon Fraser Red Leafs team. Demaculangan, as we mentioned, he will make his 7th start in 8 games. And we're talking about within the conference here, 7th start in 8 games. And he has put forth some outstanding numbers overall. One of the guards, but the leading rebounder on the team right now at 5.3 caroms per contest. He's also the 2nd highest scorer on this team at 11.6 points per game. So Elliot Demaculangan again finding his way in the starting lineup. And Zach Stone, the 6'11 sophomore forward from Ottawa, Ontario, will be getting his 3rd start in 6 conference games. He's averaging 17.2 minutes per game. His field goal percentage has been outstanding, 11 of 17. Shooting 67% from the field, also 5.6 points, 3.2 rebounds for Zach Stone on a Louis Riel high. A shout out to everybody in the nation's capital. Zach Stone getting another start here for Simon Fraser. On the other side, it's going to be the Northwest Nazarene Nighthawks of Nampa, Idaho, and their 5 starters will be led by the man wearing 0, Ryzen Bergeson, known as Biggie to his teammates. Top 3-point shooter on this team at 40%, so a real important part of that starting group for head coach Paul Rush now into his 6th season. Also starting is going to be the point guard making his 16th start in 16 overall games, and that's Kobe Terashima. Leading assist man on this team, just under 4 helpers a game for Kobe Terashima at 6'2", 175 pounds. A redshirt senior from Rocky Mountain High School in Meridian, Idaho, as well a transfer from Montana State Billings. Wearing number 3 and also in the starting lineup, True Allen out of Clarkston High School in Washington, but a native of Lapwai, Idaho. He brings a lot to this lineup. He is their leading scorer at 13.5 points per game. He's also ranked 22nd nationally in Division II basketball in steals at 2.2 per game. So True Allen, 6 foot 180, a sophomore, will be a huge part of the Northwest Nazarene starting group here tonight. As well, Tim Tenclay, the redshirt sophomore of North Thurston High School, easy for me to say, an Olympia, Washington native, making just his second start here in 15 overall games. Has come in averaging just over 18 minutes a game. 5.6 points, 2.3 rebounds, and 11 steals. He's the top free throw shooter on this team at 82%. And interestingly enough, I haven't done the full math on these, but clearly you look at his numbers, and I think Coach Rush looks at those as well and sees that Tim Tenclay per minute is a guy who can be awfully dangerous for this team. That's why he's in the starting lineup today. And rounding it all out is the man who makes it go in the paint, Gabriel Murphy, 6'9", 220, the redshirt junior out of Tracy, California, Modesto Christian. He is the leading rebounder in the GNAC right now at 9.4 rebounds per game. Put those numbers out nationally across D2, and he is the 24th best rebounder in Division II basketball. Gabriel Murphy for this Northwest Nazarene team, which really relies heavily on its ability to rebound the basketball. Some of those shooting struggles very obvious for this team, but they are a team that has struggled, and we're down to about a half minute here to go before we have our player introductions, our anthems. The starting lineups will be introduced, and we will be back with you after that. It's going to be myself and Jacob Lazar, our producer today, Eitan Waysfield, and we thank him for joining us and getting us on the air here. So we'll be back in about 2 or 3 minutes here for the opening tip. For Jacob Lazar, Howard Samura here from the West Gym. More in just a moment.
Good evening, basketball fans, and welcome to the West Gym for tonight's game between the visiting Northwest Nazarene University Nighthawks and your Simon Fraser University Red. Basketball fans, at this time, we do ask that you please rise if you are able, and please remove all caps for the playing of the American and Canadian national anthems. We stand to tonight's starting lineups, beginning with North Nazarene. Starting tonight for the Nighthawks. At guard, number 0, Bryson Ferguson. Starting point guard, number 1, Kobe Terajima. Starting point guard, number 3, Drew Allen. Starting guard, number 20, Timothy Tinkley. And starting forward, number 32, Gabriel Murphy. And here's the Nighthawks, Paul Rush with assistants John Hawkins, Santa Cross, and Adam Bowles. And now, it's time to make tonight's starting lineup for your SFU Redleaves. Beginning at guard, a junior from Guelph, Ontario, number 3, David Petty. Starting forward, a freshman from Niagara Falls, number 5, starting guard, a senior from Toronto, Ontario, number 15, Jamal O'Reilly. Starting guard, a sophomore from Mississauga, Ontario, number 20, Elliot Temeculated. And starting forward, a sophomore from Ottawa, number 21, Zach
And we are here with you at the West Gym, ready for live action. The GNAC Thursday here at Burnaby Mountain. Howard Samura as well, joined by Jacob Lazar, our analyst for the game. And before this opening tip, Jake, I mean, this is a great rebounding team. Simon Fraser set to play tonight.
Yeah, as you pointed out already, they are the number 1 offensive rebounding team in the GNAC. So for Simon Fraser tonight, it's going to be very important to crash that defensive glass, make sure you get the ball, start your possessions, and when this team gets a little scrambly in the back end, that's usually a cause for concern, and you see teams start picking up some runs and games kind of get away from them. So defensive rebounding against a good offensive rebounding team is going to be crucial, I think, for the Red Leafs.
Exactly, and look at the big guy at center court, Gabriel Murphy, number 32, 6'9", 220, the leading rebounder in the GNAC. As we told you, 9.7 rebounds per game, and he will be a force inside. It's going to be Murphy set the jump against Zach Stone, number 21 for Simon Fraser, and we are underway here at the West Gym. Stone with a win on the tip. And here quickly is Simon Fraser. Oludele, the freshman, finds his way to Stone. Simon Fraser, of course, coming off that split in Alaska, along the way getting their first conference win of the season. So literally would love to keep the momentum going here as Penny now takes a handoff into the paint. He gets that knocked away by Terashima, the point guard. So an early foul here, Kobe Terashima. Terashima wears number 1, as we mentioned. He's a redshirt senior from Meridian, Idaho, but a transfer from Montana State Billings as Penny sees the first free throw rattle in and out.
During warm-up here tonight, I saw SFU, everyone lined up around the key. They were all taking free throws. I know it's something that's been an issue in recent games, especially here at home. So we'll see how they look from the line in this one.
That's a great point, Jake. Both these teams near the bottom, and in fact, Northwest Nazarene coming in last in free throw percentage. So I think these teams are 8-10 or 9-10 in a 10-team GNAC. So that could make a big difference what you do from the free throw line tonight. Here's a first look at the basket here for the Nazarene Nighthawks, Nampa, Idaho based. And there's True Allen, the leading scorer on this team, gets into the paint. Little floater won't go for him. Talked about the importance of rebounds. Penny faking out Allen as he comes down the floor. Little hesitation, dribble. Penny to the window. Stone with a finish, can't get it. And there's Jamal Wright trying to finish. Boy, that's a tough break for Simon Fraser.
Yeah, it looked like a couple of offensive rebounds there with some opportunities. Zach Stone had a good chance, just a little too much on that putback.
Elliot Temeculated not only blocked it, he got his own block and keys Penny down the floor. David will look back for Stone. The red-hot Temeculated. Elliott into the paint. Tough shot under duress, fading. everything's contested, but the foul count going Simon Fraser's way here early.
It is, and I'm glad to see Elliott get to the line. He had a huge block back in his own end, and that's definitely one we're going to see a highlight of. It was a beautiful block, and then he scoops up the ball his own and makes a beautiful pass out to Penny to get the break started. Now he's going to hopefully finish it off with some points from the free throw line.
A unique player in that he could play any position in the backcourt, can swing into the front court, has massive wingspan. As a sophomore out of Mississauga, Ontario, and he gives Simon Fraser the lead here. 2-0 Red Leafs, pending this second free throw from Elliott Demaculangan. Demaculangan came in shooting a nice percentage from the free throw line. 83%. Not getting a lot of trips on the season, but good to see him attacking the basket. Drew Allen going inside to the big man Murphy. Gabriel Murphy, one-on-one, the turnaround. Great job by Stone and Jamal Wright.
Yeah, I think that's the effort SFU is going to need on the glass. Two guys going to the ball, really fighting guys off, taking pride in defensive rebounding.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Just a great job, Jake. They're doing what they need to do. That is the plan of battle here as they headed into this one. Now in the half court right. Shot clock's under 10, back cutting. Demaculangan a little skip. Stone back up top to Penny, and he knocks it down. David Penny with a big triple.
Great work all around, good ball movement, moving it into the paint, and then Zach Stone getting it back out of the paint, and a good shot from David Penny. He's struggled from three at times, but you know when he gets going, he can knock those down with regularity.
He certainly can. Here's Drew Allen. He's going to miss on the baseline, and so scoreless remain the Nighthawks, as we mentioned, coming in with that 3-4 record in the GNAC. Talk about all the woes they've had. They won a tight, low-scoring game against Anchorage last week, 48-47.
Yeah, you don't see that very often.
That was a cage match, that one, I'll tell you. I watched a bit of that on a replay, and boy, that was a low-scoring, defensive-minded contest. Here is Oladele. What a dynamic move. Just can't get that one to go. Murphy with a rebound. Drew Allen quickly down the court. Finding Bergeson. They play some catch here as Drew Allen now. That great handle as he gets into the paint. Oladele, the block from behind. Here's Demaculangan. Regains control against the double team. Outside he goes, and Oladele couldn't knock down the triple. So many nice things working for the Red Leafs here early. They are hustling and they are focused early. Bergeson looking for Terashima back up top. Number 13 checked into the game is Mason Mikado. Reserve guard off the bench. Double team comes. Boy, Jake, Simon Fraser just looks dialed in early.
Absolutely. On the defensive side of the floor has been a struggle at times, and I feel like this team plays a lot better when they're ahead and they can pull off some double teams and be a bit more aggressive defensively and force some turnovers. And when that happens, you know, we've seen them play a lot better, and it's happened early in games, so we'll see how it goes. But if that effort continues for a full 40 tonight, I'm going to like the Red Leafs' chances.
You're joining us on Red Leafs TV here. Thanks for joining us. We've got all Simon Fraser Varsity Athletics streamed live, and we're coming at you from the top of Burnby Mountain today. Of course, the Red Leafs will be back in action again Saturday. We'll tell you more about that one as the night progresses. Here's Demaculangan looking to add to the lead. Fading from three, and he's going to knock it down. Demaculangan, red hot, 9-0 Red Leafs.
It's a great move to create space for himself and then hits that shot. Elliott's definitely dialed in.
Mikado is going to put up the triple, and he's going to knock down the first hoop of this game. The reserve guard, averaging about 10 minutes and a point and a half a game, knocks down the triple to double his season average.
NNU's played with a lot of pace up front. They're taking shots as soon as they see them. They're not worried about chewing up a lot of clock, and it's going to be interesting to see when they start hitting some shots how that continues.
And there is Wright battling inside, some contact and a whistle. You're right about that, but like we said off the top, they struggle shooting the ball. They're shooting the three-point bucket at 29.5%. They're shooting 40% overall from the field. So maybe that's what you want to do. I don't know if you want to get them into a shooting game.
Yeah.
And they may get frustrated if they can't get those second chance opportunities off that incredible offensive rebounding ability they have. I know there's a big event, and I don't know if you're able to maybe give us a bit more insight on it, but a week from today, I believe it is Filipino Heritage Night.
It is Filipino Heritage Night. So as we get some stats here from Wilson Wong. That's for me. Yeah, so Filipino Heritage Night. It's the first one that it's going to be put on here for SFU men's basketball. And, you know, this team's got some Filipino players in David Penny, Elliot Demaculangan, and Hunter Cruz Dumont, you know, as well as staff all across SFU athletics. So it's going to be a fun night. There's already a lot of tickets sold. Yeah. If there's one SFU men's basketball game you're going to come to this season, it would probably be that one. It's going to be a loud, excited crowd, and it'll be a lot of fun to celebrate some Filipino culture and some basketball.
That's going to be tremendous, and I know Filipino basketball culture at a certain school in Vancouver called St. Patrick's, who won the BC AAA championship last year. If they travel as well as they travel to the provincial championship, they will help. I know fill a lot of these seats here. We're expecting a sellout. It's a week from today, 7 o'clock, as Simon Fraser gets set to play Western Oregon Filipino Heritage Night right here from the West Gym. As we get back to live action, Jamal Wright at the free throw line. Simon Fraser coming out and hitting a couple of threes early, and that's been so key for them here in building this 9-3 lead. Wright's going to make it 10-3. Simon Fraser shooting about 50% from the stripe early, but still with a 7-point lead. Here's Terashima. Sees a lane and turns on the Jets. Kobe Terashima right to the basket, lays it up and in 10-5. You see George Lefebvre coming off the bench, and he will check in. The big man from Vermont will come in and give this team some minutes at the next stoppage. Right now it's Zach Stone battling with Gabe Murphy. Stone to Penny. Shot clock now to 9 for Demaculangan. Elliott swings it inside, juggling it, and unable to squeeze it is Zach Stone. So we'll see.
Sorry, I was just going to say, we'll see what SFU draws up here with only 3 on the clock.
Yeah, it's a real short possession here. They need a quick hitter to say the least, and Penny will inbound the basketball. They go for the quick pass and shot by Demaculangan. Had a good look at it. Get a new clock. Demaculangan measures, and he gets that one to go. That's a long two-pointer along the baseline. Boy, Elliott, it's so great to see Elliot Demaculangan just really finding confidence in his game everywhere.
We saw this at times last year when we were covering this SFU team, and Elliott, when he got going, he could hit those shots with some authority even. I remember hearing you say how impressed you were for a freshman last year to have that confidence. And
I thought that was waning at the start of the season as Mikado is proven to be a force off the bench. He hits the triple now in the paint. He's got 5 of their 7 points. Mason Mikado of Corona, California. Here's Penny. Oladele, the prize freshman. 15 dribbles back, finds Demaculangan into the paint. Shot clock at 8. Elliott puts it up, had a good look at it. And Gabe Murphy with the rebound. Yaru Harvey is also checked into the game now, but the Nighthawks battling to get or keep possession of the basketball. Here's True Allen. Shot clock down to 8 now. Simon Fraser doing a great job defensively. Burgeson's going to put it up. Doesn't even draw iron on the shot. And quickly, here's Demaculangan. Elliott, that big step he takes in the paint. Let's just hope he's okay there. Comes up favoring the left ankle a bit. As we mentioned, George Lefebvre, as well as the freshman guard Jimmy Zaborniak, set to come into the game for Simon Fraser. Demaculangan seems okay. He's going to shake that off, and he was fouled, so that one called against True Allen, already his 2nd of the game. Leading scorer on this Nazarene team.
And now with NNU getting into some early foul issues, are going to make some changes. They got a very short bench here today. So, if you're SFU, you want to see them keep fouling and getting your opportunities at the line, and also, maybe changing the way they have to approach their short bench.
You're right about that. They're basically, you look at their team, and they're really like a 7-player rotation. We'll see how they cope with things. As we said, Mikado's been playing well. Mikado and Yaru Harvey are out there as well with Burgerson, but now number 4, Andrew Theron, the backup center, the Burley, Idaho, 6'10", 220. It's a big team when they want to be. Paul Rush can put some height and some wingspan out there.
Yeah, and Machado and Farron are two guys just looking at their numbers that don't play a ton, but maybe rely to log a few more minutes here tonight.
The point per minute team, because they do have a short bench, is pretty good for this team. Putting up the shot there is Harvey. He's going to miss that one, but they get it back. Harvey again. Nice fake, gets him right into the paint. He puts it off the window, and Yaru Harvey with a great job there to score the bucket.
All off of an offensive rebound for the Nighthawks, and then they kicked it back out. Harvey made a nice move up at the perimeter, drove the basket. I think that's what they want to see out of their offense.
You're right about that, right?
Those offensive boards and then high
percentage shots. That's the word. You're right about that. High percentage shots coming off of the recycling of the clock. Jamal battling tough inside. Look at that offensive rebound. That is a tough one there to not be rewarded after motoring to get that O board. Nigel Hilton, another freshman, will come in and spell the starting freshman Oladele. Hilton averaging just under 14 minutes a game in his freshman season at Toronto. Here's Terashima, shakes Zaborniak with a screen. But a travel called, and Simon Fraser's going to get it back.
Yeah, just couldn't get his feet set there, and you saw there was a guy open at the perimeter. Everything looked good for the Nighthawks there. Just sometimes just got to make sure those feet are set when the refs are on you.
Well, I think this is still a Northwest Nazarene pace in terms of the low-scoring start we're getting here. Via that win over Anchorage that they got last week, where neither team broke 50. Jalen Fox, who has barely seen the court this season. In fact, he didn't make my chart. I think he's played about 15 minutes on the season or some really small number, but he's in there. Jalen Fox, number...
It's only his second game of the season, so...
So probably coming off of an injury, yeah. There's Jalen into the paint. Gets it out to Harvey. He's going to kick back to Terashima. Here's Farron. Whistle blowing outside the arc. And the foul being called against Zaborniak.
So Jalen Fox, he's played in one game this season, logged 27 minutes. He was 1 for 4 from 3, and didn't get to the free throw line. So we don't know a lot about him.
We don't. But he'll get a spot here on the chart. We got to make sure we got Jalen Fox, number 2. Thank you very much. Our stats, maybe take a look at those, Jake, and let us know what you're seeing in terms of any trends early.
I mean, we've seen SFU get to the free throw line. So, that's something, as we mentioned. And then you, short bench, you're going to get them into foul trouble. You want to see that happen early, but you got to hit your shots from the line. 5 for 8 so far for SFU from the free throw line. And we'll see if they can up those numbers. I mentioned earlier they took that seriously in warm-up before this game. Everyone's shooting free throws. So if the game plan from Coach Hansen was get to the free throw line, 8 shots already, only 8 minutes and 44 seconds in this game is very good.
7 defensive rebounds as well for Simon Fraser. Just 1 offensive rebound total for Northwest Nazarene. So another thing that Jake talked about in the early moments of this game was that ability to go and take away the offensive rebounding threat of Northwest Nazarene. Simon Fraser following the game plan. They've got a 4-point lead as we approach the midway mark of this opening half. Thanks for joining us once more on Red Leafs TV here from the top of Burnaby Mountain in Burnaby, British Columbia, Canada. As you know, if you're watching from outside the area and you don't know, Simon Fraser, the only non-U.S. team in the NCAA. Here's Fox. Shot clock's at 6. Burgerson inside, unable to score. Here's Jamal Wright. Great defense, collapses on him. Jovan Ray now checked into the game as well, wearing 0 for Simon Fraser. Northwest Nazarene finding their defensive footing the last couple times down the floor. Here's Lefebvre. He's got Farron and that big wingspan trying to power his way through. Farron's going to win the battle there. But kicking it back out to Zaborniak. Jimmy Z with a nice three-point basket.
That was a great effort by SFU on the offensive end of the court. They had that shot blocked. Lefebvre did. He gets the ball back. They're able to kick it out. That's something we haven't seen a lot of this year.
And at the other end of the floor, and you're right about that, they give up the dunk at the other end to Farron. But hard work and you're really keeping their wits about themselves on the offensive end of the floor. Simon Fraser and Zaborniak, the pure freshman from Burnaby South, able to knock down the triple.
And it looks like Jovan Rice stepped out of bounds there.
Oh, stepped out of bounds. Yeah. I thought maybe travel, but you're right. Stepped out of bounds. Zaborniak, we should tip the hat. The Sport BC High School Athlete of the Year. This would be from last season at Burnaby South, where he was the MVP and leading his Rebels to the BC Boys Quad A Championship title at a sold-out Langley Event Center. It was just an absolutely thrilling game. Zaborniak played so well there. Stepping right into the lineup here. Here's a long three from the top. It's going to rattle in and out. It's not going to go for 10 play. Team 10 play.
And then Gabriel Murphy with an offensive rebound and gets himself to the free throw line. And now, Howie, I know you're a football guy. I know NNU does not have a football program, but if they did,
tell me
you have your starting left tackle right there. Maybe an edge rusher. He is a huge dude.
He is big, isn't he? Yeah. I came in here, and the first thing I did when I saw them on the floor, they all had shirts on, and I was just trying to tell who was, and it's that guy. And certainly, it doesn't take long before you see Gabriel Murphy, and what a player he is. Played his high school basketball at Modesto Christian. So just imagine what he did to the rest of the players in that league on the glass. Here's Fox. Oh my goodness! Jalen Fox puts on the moves, one-on-one, able to lay it up and in.
And NNU's clawed their way back. They're just down 2 now. Jalen Fox with a great transition bucket, beating Jimmy Zaborniak at the rim.
And Jalen Fox, I can guarantee you, would have been totally off their scouting report. I checked the box scores. He did not play in the last 3 games. So whenever he played that game, it was much earlier in the season. But he's a bit of a wild card thrown in there with that kind of talent. Makes it a 16-14 game. Whistle blows as Jamal Wright puts up a shot inside.
Looks like a charge was called there.
So I think a pretty vital part of this opening half, Jay, just in terms of them, Simon Fraser being able to stem the tide. We can see them losing a bit of momentum, but they've got to just kind of stick to the game plan.
Yeah, and I mentioned at the outset when they're being aggressive defensively and double teaming and getting those rebounds, they have success. But that's a little harder to do in a close game or when you're trailing than when you're up early. And we've seen that so many times this year, Howie, where they get off to a great start and then the defense, the intensity falls a little. Although we just had a block here.
That said, yeah, great to see the block from Damaki Lang and get him right back down the floor. Oladele back to Elliott. Damaki Lang and the drive and the nice pass to the baseline corner, but overshooting is Oladele. Here's Harvey. The 3-ball off the front iron, right into the hands of Lefebvre, ripped away by Murphy. So Gabriel Murphy with another offensive rebound.
Yeah, it took a quick bounce off the rim. I don't think Lefebvre was expecting that to end up right in his hands.
Big man, does he have the touch? Can't get a short little hook to go. Nigel Hilton with a rebound. And here's Damaki Lang in the game. To Nigel Hilton for 3, hand in his face, and the freshman knocks it down.
That was a big basket for Hilton. If you just mentioned SFU wanting to get that momentum back, some good defense and a 3-pointer. It's a good way to get that.
19-14, but here come the Nighthawks. That name, the Nighthawks, might resonate with some Vancouver basketball fans. Of course, it was the name of the Small Man's Pro Basketball League that lasted 1 season, played their games at a BC place. Of course, they were called the Vancouver Nighthawks. These are the Northwest Nazarene Nighthawks, formerly the Crusaders. They went through a name change.
Oh, Oladele went right through the barrier at the end. He's not back on defense yet.
Here he comes hustling back as quickly as he can. But it's a outnumbered situation, and Murphy is going to dunk it.
Yeah, Oladele went right through the padding behind the basket there, and he had to get himself up, pull the pad off of him before he could get back on defense.
Well, they gave one up there, but he showed his hustle. Oh, this is going to be an offensive foul on Zaborniak for a shove. That's a tough break for Jimmy Z. That's going to be his second foul of the game.
And timeout on the floor, probably a good time for one here for SFU.
Yeah, they'll talk things over, and we will take a short break as well. Be back with the rest of the first half from the West Gym in just a moment. And the horn brings us back to live action. Thanks again to producer Eitan Weisfeld. As we enter the final 6:45 of this opening half, Howard Samura along with Jacob Lazar from the West Gym in Burnaby, British Columbia. Simon Fraser with a 1-point lead. Exciting first half of play.
Yeah, we've seen both teams kind of grab some momentum and try and wrestle it away. It's been tight for sure. Now, if you're SFU, you're going to want to make sure that you don't let anything get away from you. Keep it close, keep it tight, and if you can get into the second half with a lead and build on what you've learned in this first half, you should be in good shape.
Simon Fraser now with a chance to extend that 1-point lead, build some breathing room for themselves here is Hilton, who just hit the big three, hands off to Oladele.
It's a good three-point shooting group on the floor right now for SFU as well.
And they're going to take one. You're right about that, Jake, as a close miss there from Damaki Langen. Terashima quickly down the floor now for Northwest Nazarene. Here's Harvey. He's the leading scorer in this game. He's for Northwest Nazarene with 7 points. That one going to go out of bounds. Damaki Langen leading SFU with 8 points. We should pass on a score from the Simon Fraser women's game. They are in Billings at Montana State Billings tonight with 4:20 left in the game. Simon Fraser trailing Montana State Billings 58-49. So a close one down there in the great state of Montana. Murphy back to the basket. Turn around, the big man scores it with a nice hook shot.
That was a great hook. Zach Stone played some pretty good defense, but some strength and finesse from Murphy to get the bucket.
And you know what? A redshirt junior is an experienced guy in this GNAC league, and you were telling me he looks like a left tackle. He is a tower of power, is Murphy, and Stone getting some great experience against Gabriel Murphy, the leading rebounder in the GNAC. Penny's three ball off the side of the goal. Nice scramble there by Oladele. The hands never stop working. Number 5 feeding Hilton underneath for the lay-in.
That was a great showing of patience by Nigel Hilton, letting Murphy come right over top of him, it looked like, and then getting the lay-in. But great work by Oladele to force that turnover, keep his feet in bounds, and get the ball back into the paint.
He kept his feet in bounds. He kept his eyes on the basketball. He kept his hands engaged, and I thought number 5 did a great job there. That was a hard-earned basket. 21-20, Red Leafs with a lead. Here's Bergeson. He's going to get called for the offensive foul. He lowers the shoulder into Elliot Damaki Langen.
Damaki Langen's been great at both ends of the floor today, hasn't he? He's had some blocks, rebounds, hit some big shots, and taking a charge. This is what we want to see out of the young sophomore.
Yes, exactly. Combative when he needs to be, and really, as this team has tried to define its personality, its character, we're starting to see the old pieces, the new pieces, and the in-between pieces all starting to fit here for head coach Steve Hansen. Here's Penny. Takes a handoff from Hilton. Quickly now to Demakulanga. Penny looking to feed the paint. Instead he'll go cross court to Oladele. 9 on the shot clock. Emmanuel trying to work on the baseline. Here's Fox. Back to Henry, or Harvey rather. And that's not going to go.
Good work by Stone on the glass, making sure he pulled that rebound down.
Zach Stone has really shown us something. Great job there, but great hands. Fingertips do it for Fox as he tips the ball away. That should be Simon Fraser basketball.
Yep, looks like it is.
19 on the shot clock, 4:03 left in the half, and a low-scoring contest as we kind of expected it would be with Northwest Nazarene and that style they like to play. Here is Penny. Shot clock's now back down to 9 for Demakulanga. True Allen guarding him, working off the Stone screen. They go to the baseline corner. Head fake, Penny. Baseline fade goes over the goal.
Tough for SFU. Hilton was in a good position there. If that catches rim, you know, I don't want to say he's going to get a putback or anything, but he'll at least have given SFU another chance with an offensive board. So
I was thinking maybe flush there, but they couldn't get that to go. They did everything but score and showed some poise as the shot clock wound down to 0.
Then it seems like the last few possessions, there's just not been a lot of space for them. They've been moving the ball on the perimeter a lot, but every time they're trying to either move the ball into the paint, whether they're dribbling through or they're passing through, there's just no space for them right now.
There was an instance there, okay? Oladele's on the baseline and he's cutting to the basket, and I think as a freshman, as he grows stronger and more confident with what he's doing, he will take the finesse out of his game and bring more of a power aspect, and I think he's going to score 9 times out of 10 as he gets older. What do you think of something like that? He's going to get a lot stronger.
Yes, absolutely, and that's something we got to keep in mind. You know, when you're talking about this SFU team, they're so young, right? Like, and when you're starting someone like Oladele as a freshman, you're bringing Zaborniak, a freshman, off
Hilton.
the bench, and Hilton.
Yes.
Like it's going to be expected. There's going to be some learning from these guys, but they all have talent. So you're right. I think as they get a little bit more mature, a little bit more physically mature as well, and build up a little bit of muscle to go up against guys like Murphy in the paint, or or Farron. Like, these guys are big, strong GNAC veterans, and I'm not too worried about what these SFU freshmen are going to get to at some point.
And I think this is a great time to pass along best wishes on his recovery to Eric Beckett as he tries to get back from these concussions, Jake. He's a quality guy. What a great player. And we talk about size. I mean, he's 6'4", 230.
Yeah.
What he could bring to this right now if he was able, and we see him on the bench, cheering on his teammates. And he's the guy standing up right now, right? So
he's another big boy, strong, and then obviously with some Division I experience and leadership. That's a big piece missing for SFU right now, certainly.
Certainly. Coming from Vermont along with Lefebvre, the two of them coming in through the portal to Simon Fraser University. And as we talked about all the pieces growing to know each other and fit, the great foundation has been laid here. And there are so many talented freshmen that redshirted this year.
Yes.
And you can see them all sitting, and there's a guy like Hunter Cruz Dumont battling that tough foot injury, hasn't been able to get in here. Gio Khan of the Burnaby South, I know, is going to be a nice player to bring in as he sits out this season. So a lot of great things happening in this reset for Simon Fraser. Demakulanga goes cross court again. The difference Fox is making with those fingertips right now is substantial.
Yeah, especially on Zaborniak. It's, Fox doesn't look big, but then you see him and you see that wingspan and reaching up to tip those passes away. It's not going to be an easy matchup for some of these small SFU guards.
Yeah, and he looks like a really cagey kind of guy, smart, knows the game and knows how to affect it, knows the nuances. As Murphy, number 32, now set the check back in. We talked about Murphy, 11.3 points per game, 9.4 rebounds per game. The guy who can get the 10-10 double-double, is always going to be a tough, guy ready to rumble. And you look at Murphy, and he's that kind of guy. He's got 113 rebounds coming into this game, 37 of the 113 were on the offensive glass. So
That is
basically a
crazy.
third of his rebounds are on the offensive glass.
Yeah,
That's what, gotta love that.
Yeah, that's what you expect, playing video games, getting all those offensive boards. To actually do it at high level of basketball is not easy. It takes dedication to your craft to really, really attack the offensive glass like that.
Well, I know everybody from Modesto Christian watching today down in California will be cheering on number 32 in red.
Ooh, and then you thought they were getting the ball back there, almost in unison, all the players on the court and the bench, as the call doesn't go their way.
They are coached by Mr. Paul Rush. Northwest Nazarene, formerly the Crusaders, now the Nighthawks for the last few years. Zach Stone off the inbound. Stone, the turnaround move. Boy, there was some heavy contact there from Mason Mikado, no call. And Yaru Harvey. Now to Tim 10 Clay. And to True Allen. True Allen rarely leaving the floor, averaging 33 minutes a game this season. He's their leader. Look at that handle into the paint. Intuitive as he finds a way to score despite the wingspan of Damaki Langan on the baseline.
That was a beautiful finish by True Allen. Getting up there, patiently waiting out Damaki Langan, getting enough arc on that shot to drop it in.
Really doing a nice job. Nice entry into Hilton. Nigel can't squeeze that one as Jimmy Z feeding the post.
And we'll see, there's 2:37 left here in the first half. NNU's got the lead now. So we're going to see what SFU does going forward. We've seen it time and time again. Early in the game, getting leads, playing aggressively, and making things happen. And then, what adjustments are they going to have to make now to pull this game back and hopefully get a lead going into halftime?
We mentioned 1-3 on the road for Northwest Nazarene overall this season in their overall games. Harvey, what an explosive drive to the basket and a 3-point lead, the largest lead of the game for Northwest Nazarene now with 2:17 remaining in the half. Here's Penny. Harvey out to guard him. 3-guard look here from Simon Fraser with Oladele and Stone in the front court. They're going to kill some clock here. Oladele now with the basketball. He just re-entered the game. Shot clock down to 8. Damaki Langan. Zaborniak, Jimmy Z for 3. Stone with a nice tip underneath.
And just
they called Stone.
Yeah, they did. SFU just looks too tentative right now. Too much moving the ball at the perimeter. Guys standing around they look like they don't want to make any mistakes, which is good. But you've fallen behind in this game. You've got to take it to the Nighthawks. Force them to make the mistakes. You're on your home floor. Play like you're up. Play
Certainly.
like you're up, even when you're not.
I agree. Protect this house. Be attack-minded. And, the penalty for playing with too much finesse is the other team lining up at the free throw line. This is the worst free throw shooting team in the conference. As we mentioned off the top, shooting 66.5% from the stripe. But Simon Fraser, not a whole lot better. They'll make 1 of 2 here. So Simon Fraser likely needing a couple of baskets here if they want to take a lead into the halftime locker room. Here's Penny working off the Lefebvre screen. Damaki Langan.
A little bit more movement on this possession for SFU.
See if they get into that attack mindset here as the shot clock now goes under 10. Penny is going to shoot from just inside the 3. Again, not getting to the rim. And Harvey, he's going to walk it up as he gets to half court. Terashima now. Nazarene taking their time as you think they would here in the half court with a 4-point lead. Harvey, what a nice take to the basket. Can't get it to go this time. Hot potato to Oladele. The freshman strides down the floor, and he is going to be an absolute force.
And you just mentioned earlier how he, as he matures, is he going to use a little bit more power and attacking the rim? Well, I think he just showed right there he can do it.
Yeah, and you love what you're seeing with him. He coming in as a freshman, you saw that kid early in the season. You looked at him, and physically, he looks ready as a guy straight out of high school to just jump in there and play. And you're not going to see that too often with a lot of guys. So it has been an absolute joy to watch number 5 mature already as a freshman. 55.6 seconds left. Simon Fraser off the Oladele basket pulls to within 2.
And again, low scoring. Right now, both teams in the 20s.
This is the first. If it was a quarters, this would be a first quarter score.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. Low scoring contest. Fox to Bergeson. Simon Fraser putting on a press here. Trying to manufacture a steal and an easy bucket. Shot clock, it'll be about 25 if they run it here. But instead, that's True Allen. Puts it on the deck and drives to the rim and lays it up and in. 4-point lead restored here for the Nighthawks. There's about a 4-second difference in the clocks right now. Simon Fraser with the basketball. Zabornia. Fox up to guard him. Jalen Fox, who had barely played this season, comes off the bench and puts in some heavy minutes. Has been a major player in the backcourt. Oladele rescued. Shot clock to 4. They count it down. They got to put it up. Penny for 3. Doesn't go. No call, and Simon Fraser coach is not happy about that one. But 27-23 is the score at the half. Northwest Nazarene, a nice surge for the guys from Nampa, Idaho. And they'll take a 4-point lead. Simon Fraser with a 10-0 run. The women to end the is that the first half? To end the fourth quarter, they have gone into overtime, tied at 61.
Wow.
A great job there in Montana State Billings. So as we retire to halftime, maybe some words, first off, on the women. What a great job on the road for Coach Langford there.
When that team's shots start falling, they can go on 10-0 runs pretty easily. So yeah, hopefully when we come out of halftime here, we've got an update and a final score from Montana, and hopefully it's an SFU win that we can report. But
and as well, we'll talk a lot about what's happening in this game, but we'll take a short break here. 27-23, Northwest Nazarene with the lead. Red Leafs TV back with more in a moment from the West Gym in Burnaby, BC.
Dear college sports.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
A return to normal, and all we love about sports.
You've instilled resilience, focus, and selflessness in us. We've put those lessons to work.
We've found strength and unity in each other.
You continue to take us places we never imagined.
You bring out the best in us.
So when we look forward, we see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We see a better world for all of us and for college sports.
I am here to build bridges,
I'm here to promote inclusion,
to embrace diversity,
to learn from others.
I'm here to support my community.
I'm here to lift people up,
to engage,
to listen.
I am here to grow.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby.
NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org.
I'm here to make a difference.
I'm here to create.
To innovate.
To do research that matters.
I am here to continue asking questions.
To continue learning.
To expand my horizons.
I am here to grow.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor. It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
I'm here to get more than a degree.
I'm here to explore.
To connect. To learn.
I am here to forge a new path.
To push myself. To set goals and achieve them.
I am here to win.
I'm here to grow.
Howard Samura back here with you, soon to be joined by Jacob Lazar, our analyst today here at the West Gym. Simon Fraser trailing by 4 points at the half, 27-23 against the visiting Northwest Nazarene Nighthawks of Nampa, Idaho. This GNAC men's basketball game between the 1-3 last place Red Leafs and the, where are they in the standings? Tied for fourth with both Western Washington and University of Alaska Anchorage. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, that's right. All three teams at 3-4. So Nazarene coming in at 3-4. Before we get into the first half box score, a shout out to all of those on Red Leafs TV helping us get things going here with our broadcast. And interestingly enough, as it's pointed out by our analyst Jacob Lazar, all three Simon Fraser varsity athletes are producer Eitan Weisfeld from the men's soccer program, the camera operators today from track and field, Jose Castro, and from softball, Katie Zagari. So our thanks to those three and to everyone else responsible for getting Simon Fraser Red Leafs basketball on the air. Some of the notes from this opening. Oh, we're joined now by Jacob. He can jump right in here. Yeah. Is there anything happening from the women's game?
They're in overtime, still tied at 67 apiece with 17 seconds left. There's a timeout, so we will keep everybody updated here as to what happens.
Are you saying potentially double overtime here?
Potentially double overtime down in Billings.
In Billings, Montana, so chance they could potentially go to double overtime there. And we will continue to get updates from Jacob throughout the course of the evening. Our leading scorers in that opening half for Northwest Nazarene, Yaru Harvey with 9 points, Gabriel Murphy 5 points and 5 rebounds. He had 2 offensive rebounds in that half. Leading scorer for Simon Fraser with 8 points, Elliot Demakulangan. Interestingly enough, when we looked at the rebounding and we talked about the offensive rebounding numbers, Jake, we talked about those ones, in the open. Mm-hmm. Northwest Nazarene only had 3 offensive rebounds in the first half. They do have a 4-point lead, but it's kept Simon Fraser within shouting distance. Obviously, they led for most of the half before, falling behind later in that opening half. But I think Simon Fraser has done their job in that department.
Yeah, I think so. So what might be a little concerning is when you've shut them down, now you give them halftime to adjust and maybe make some changes. How are the Red Leafs going to respond to that? But, yeah, I agree with you, Howie. I think if that was the game plan, which is, hey, look at their strengths, and that's the offensive rebounds, they've done a good job of maintaining that. And, contrastly, SFU's work on the offensive glass has been probably better than we've seen from them all year.
Yeah, they had 5 offensive boards of their 21 rebounds. A little distressing, though, we look at that Simon Fraser field goal percentage in the opening half. Simon Fraser shot 7 of 27, only 25.9% from the field, while Northwest Nazarene shot 43%. Simon Fraser was a healthy 4 of 12 from 3, but the distressing statistic, they were 3 of 15 inside the three-point arc.
Yeah.
That is
concerning.
And I think that's what they're going to have to try and overcome here as we get set in about a minute here to start the second half of play. Just overall, what did you like from Simon Fraser from an individual standpoint, players on the floor?
I liked in the first maybe 5 to 10 minutes of that half, guys were being aggressive. They were getting to the free throw line. They were attacking the basket. And then we saw a lot less of that as the half went on. And, I remember pointing out that, SFU was 5 for 8 from 3 or from the free throw line. And that was, maybe 7 minutes into the game. And then they didn't make another trip there the rest of the way. So, we've seen some good things from guys like Oladele and Demakulangan attacking the basket. But I think we need to see some more of that from SFU if they're going to try and claw back. Down only 4 coming into this second half. But, if they don't get to the basket, don't get some high percentage shooting opportunities, and don't get to the free throw line, it's going to be difficult to overcome.
Jacob Lazar, great points. And, you're right, things can get contagious, both positively and negatively. In that attack-minded Simon Fraser team we saw with those 8 early free throws, certainly not the team we saw at the end of that opening half. As we get down to 5 seconds here before the horn and the start of the second half, we'll see as a template for what Simon Fraser needs to do to get back on the winning track here in the conference. After winning that 1 game a week ago at Fairbanks, can they make it 2 out of 3 here? The next 20 minutes set to tell here, as 20 minutes now on the clock. And Northwest Nazarene will inbound.
So an update from the women's game. Montana State Billings got to the free throw line with 4 seconds on the clock, hitting only 1 of 2. So SFU's taking a timeout. Bruce Langford's going to draw something up. They need only a 2-point bucket to win that game in overtime.
4 seconds left, so Simon Fraser needs to pull one out of the hat here if they want to get a win in Montana State. Billings just underway now here in the second half, and we'll let Jake bring us up to date on that. But in Billings, but right now Bergerson to Terashima, and right into the basket, driving and kicking was Allen. They go back up top. Great ball movement as True Allen steps into a three and knocks it down. So a 7-point lead. That's the largest of the game for the Nighthawks. Great ball movement. You saw as True Allen just stepped into the three. Here's Penny driving. Gets it back from Oladele. Stone at the free throw line. Shot clock down to 7 for Zach Stone back to the basket. Falls as he goes to the ground. He draws a foul. And we just talked about those free throw trips and Simon Fraser's absence from 15, and here they come with Zach Stone with a chance to step up. Oh, actually, no. Are they saying it wasn't a shooting foul?
Yep, looks like they'll have possession on the baseline.
Boy, I thought Zach was
so
trying
too.
to shoot the basketball as he went to the ground. They rule no shooting foul on that one, and Simon Fraser now with 15 on the shot clock. They want to get 2 of those points back, and Oladele does just that. He drives to the basket.
Yeah, right as we mentioned coming out of the break there. Go to the basket, attack, get those high percentage points right under the rim.
That's right. Let that be contagious, and that'll be a good sign for Simon Fraser. So they get 2 of the 3 that they surrendered on the True Allen triple to make it a 5-point deficit from their perspective. Here's Terashima. Kobe Terashima into the paint, the dish. And the 3 ball by Tenclay is off the mark. Tim Tenclay unable to hit from the baseline corner. Demaculangan, leading scorer for Simon Fraser at the half with 8 points. Oladele steps back and knocks down the 3. What a start for Emmanuel Oladele. 5 points now for the freshman here in the first 2 minutes of the second half. There's True Allen, the drive and the kick in the paint. Tenclay on a turnaround move is blocked. And Penny quickly now to Demaculangan. Working around the Zach Stone screen. Steps back for 3, just off the mark.
I like the aggressiveness, though, in taking that shot. He had a good look, and he took advantage of it. Just didn't drop for him.
Oh, Northwest Nazarene looking quite comfortable getting up and down the floor, though they couldn't score there with Allen. Demaculangan. Shot clock at 10. Oladele, he's going to attack the basket. The dish to Stone. He gets his man in the air. He got Gabriel Murphy in the air.
Yeah. And he almost was able to find a way to drop that shot in, too. Like, he's going to head to the line for 2. And, you know, this is exactly what I was saying coming out of the break that SFU needed to do. And that's play offensively with a little bit more oomph, get to the basket, and play with a little bit of confidence. And we've seen that so far in the first just about 3 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, 2 examples from Zach Stone drawing a foul that we thought was a shooting foul. This time will step up.
And an update from Billings. SFU had a chance, and then the clock ran out. Now they've added 2 seconds on. There's been a huge delay here.
Oh my gosh.
And kind of hard to figure out what's going on, but it looks like it's Montana State Billings ball. So I'd imagine probably out of the cards for SFU. But hey, we've seen miracles happen before, and we'll see if the Red Leafs women's team can pull something special out with only 2 left.
Stone hits one to make it 30-30. So Simon Fraser was down by 7. They fought back to tie it. Oladele and Stone have been impressive in the second half here to start this thing off. Active hands knocking it away from Murphy. Stone, agility underneath the basket, wheels. The turnaround shot doesn't go. Bodies falling. Oladele and Stone. Stone's been on the floor every time down the floor.
Yeah, it looks like Jamal Wright got tangled up with Terashima. And few guys were a little slow getting off the floor. There was probably about 3 or 4 bodies on the hardwood at the end of that play, but looks like it'll be NNU ball.
Well, Stone shakes himself off, gives a thumbs up to Coach Hansen, and stays on the floor, showing some nice toughness out there. Zach Stone, here he comes to block Bergerson. Double team comes, he slides it through to Murphy. That was a great pass underneath.
In double coverage, Murphy's able to get that one to drop. That was a great little hook by the big man.
Right between 2 defenders to find the man on the baseline open for that shot. You're right about that. Here's Penny. David Penny will attack. He'll go right to the basket, shields the ball with his back as he turns his body and lays it up reverse style off the window. Game locked again at 32. Howard Samura here with Jacob Lazar. GNAC men's basketball on a Thursday from Simon Fraser, knocked away by David Penny. And that'll be Simon Fraser basketball. Those are the little things that add up when you're trying to get momentum back in a basketball game.
And potentially one final update here from Billings. There was a free throw missed by the Yellow Jackets, so SFU's got a chance with 1 second, less than 1 second on the clock for a catch and shoot to tie the game.
Are the basketball gods on their side from Montana State Billings? Will keep you up to date here. Back to live action here in Burnaby Mountain. Zach Stone with a handoff now to Penny. Penny to drive the dish. Stone couldn't squeeze it, but to Maculangan right there. 2-1 on the shot clock. It's good if it goes. Jamal Wright just off the mark there.
And it looks like SFU is going to keep the ball here. And looked like there was a lot of contact there on Bergerson. And he's kind of shaken up right now as we're heading into a media timeout.
Yeah, and he's favoring the hand. That's his right hand, his shooting hand. And he's trying to make a fist with it as he comes off the floor. A timeout called.
And the final update from Billings, they could not pull off the miracle, could the Red Leafs women. So it was a 69-67 loss to the Yellow Jackets. But, you know, I'm looking forward to going back and watching that last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter to see that comeback. It sounded like everything clicked for them, but a very close loss for the women's team there.
Those ones can get you on the road, and you put in the tough time traveling and playing away from home at Montana State Billings. The GNAC's an unforgiving conference. When you look at the location of some of these schools, the distance and all that kind of stuff, you do factor in time changes within your conference, and it's not an easy conference to play in. And you want to be able to get those. Simon Fraser's women with a tough loss on the road today in overtime to Montana State Billings.
And that's a good point just in general when you're looking at the GNAC. You've got 3 time zones in this conference, and
you've got mountains, you've got weather, you've got a
you've
lot
got
of
all
stuff.
Going from Alaska and to Idaho and into Canada. There's a lot of tough travel for these teams, and playing on the road in the GNAC is not easy. And when you look at a team like NNU, they're probably happy with what this game's kind of shaped into for them. They're tied 32-32. It's a low-scoring, tight game on the road. And, you got to imagine they're pretty happy with how it's shaken out
You
so
can
far.
talk to soccer coaches Schneider and Hamill about traveling as the big 3 ball.
Zach Stone hit that one.
Stone hits the triple, 35-32. From 7 down to up 3, a 10-point swing with the Red Leafs now in the lead. Tremendous basketball game shaping up here right now as we get down to 15 minutes remaining in this contest. Terashima, Harvey, hand in his face, great job by Penny. And Jamaculangan over half court. Penny has a knocked away, but right into the hands of Jamaculangan, who feeds Penny, and he lays it up and in.
At times this year it feels like SFU just hasn't gotten the bounces. At some point, it's going to go your way, and that's the situation.
Went right into the hands of what was intended. A great job, but look at the big man down low. Has a force field around him on the baseline. And Gabriel Murphy able to lay it up and in. 37-34, Simon Fraser. Stone just hit the 3. No look to Oladele. Oladele no look to, Wright no look to Oladele.
Well, put back at the rim by Zach Stone on that ball that kind of bounced off a couple of rims from Oladele, and these are the kind of points SFU needs. Second chance opportunities, putbacks.
Murphy unable to finish. Fox, though, he'll take a drive to the basket right with a block. He's the break. Oladele thought about pulling up. Instead, he'll go to Penny, baseline corner. David trying to fend off Harvey. Nice spring in the step here of David. Penny as he rears back, can't get the fadeaway jump shot to go.
This game's got a much different pace than we saw through most of the first half.
Terashima, underneath he goes and finds Murphy.
A lot of contact there on Murphy. He didn't get any call, but he was still able to get it drop. We've seen that a few times from the big man.
Powers through 6'9", 220. Just like to say 6'9", 220. And he's able to score it underneath. So 39-36, the timeout called. And boy, there, as you said, you know, we were on pace for a very, very, very low-scoring game. It's still going to be a low-scoring game, I think, but it's picked up a bit.
Yeah, and just both offenses are moving the ball quick, and they're active in the offensive end of the floor. You've seen NNU just feed the ball down to their bigs in the paint and attack the rim. We've seen SFU do that, but also the three-point shots are starting to fall for SFU, which hasn't happened in the second half a lot this season, especially on home court. So both offenses are working quickly, and to your point, they're looking a little bit more efficient as well. So hopefully we're going to see some scores increase, and if you're SFU, you want to make sure that you play ahead for as long as you can, and you know, make it more difficult on this short NNU bench to try and claw back late in the game.
You know, so we'll go through the numbers quickly. Gabriel Murphy with 11 points and 7 rebounds, 9 points for Yaru Harvey, the leading scorers for Northwest Nazarene. 2 players with 8, Damaki Langan and as well David Penny, and 7 apiece for Oladele and Stone. Zach Stone, I got to get some comments from you on Zach Stone. He's got the height, he's got the wingspan, but he's also got some real basketball IQ and some real feel for the game. He scores in so many different ways.
He does, and he's a high percentage three-point shooter because he's smart with it. And I think that's a great point. He's got the basketball IQ to shoot threes effectively. When he's got the open looks, he doesn't hesitate. He's willing to let it go from downtown. But he's also not going to force it. And he knows that, you know, if he doesn't have the look, he'll dish it off. He'll get himself back inside and put himself in a better position to score.
Yeah, good high post passer and really intuitive with the tips around the basket, is able to.
Absolutely. We see it all the time.
Yeah, really, really proving his worth here. He will take a seat. George Lefebvre, number 34, is in there. It's Wright, Zaborniak, Oladele, and the man right in front of us, David Penny, set to inbound the basketball. 13:21 left. 3-point lead and the basketball for the Red Leafs. Here is Penny. 4 Simon Fraser scorers doing a great job right now. Here's Penny. Reversal, Lefebvre for 3. That one on a path to the basket from the top of the key. Doesn't find its place at the bottom of the basket. Now into the hands of Fox. Jalen Fox, who we mentioned hasn't played a ton this year at all, but has been a vital part of the rotation here for head coach Paul Rush. Here's True Allen, leading scorer on this team. He's got the ball in a string, and he finds Gabriel underneath. Murphy will lay it up and in.
Yeah, Gabriel Murphy's definitely been the go-to man on offense for the Nighthawks in the second half. Everything's feeding through him at the basket, and it's working.
13 points, a game high now for Murphy to go along with those 7 rebounds. Here's Penny. Finds Zaborniak, the freshman. Trying to shake Fox as he goes to the corner. Oladele. Ooh, beautiful triple from Oladele. The pass was low. He picked it up at his ankles and got right into rhythm, 42-38.
That's his spot. He hits a lot of those corner threes. And we saw him airball one in the first half, and I didn't say anything about it, but at the time I'm like, oh, it's odd. He doesn't do that very often, and then makes good on this one here later in the game.
Really feeling comfortable as Oladele in the GNAC now. And hasn't taken him that long, the freshman. Underneath the, oh, what a block that is underneath by Oladele on Gabriel Murphy. But Murphy's going to stick with it. He's going to lay it up and in through the contact. Zaborniak with a foul, his 3rd of the game.
What a block by Oladele, but man, that Gabriel Murphy is just so hard to deal with down low. And when they grab the rebound and then he attacks the rim again, it's going to be hard to shut him down 2 or 3 times in a row. You're going to have to make sure if you're SFU that when you get those blocks or you force those misses, you're grabbing that rebound, because if you give him any other opportunities, he's proven it so far tonight. He's gonna make you look silly.
Now, basketball is a beautiful game in the way that you look at a guy. He doesn't have to be a 7-footer. If he's got a low center of gravity and he is a strongly, firmly built person in the pivot position, it's almost like you almost do have a force field around you, right? In terms of how you can impact what happens in the paint.
Like he's listed at 6'9", but he doesn't play like he's 6'9". He plays like a 7-footer.
Yeah, he certainly does. And we talked about it in the pregame about the fact that Murphy, is the leading rebounder in the GNAC at 9.4 per game, but also in the top 25 nationally in D2. So tremendous rebounding player that has come to the fore here today. As we mentioned, he's a redshirt junior from Tracy, California, and went to Modesto Christian, averaging 27 minutes a game, third highest on his team, and it's his 13th start in 13 overall appearances here for Murphy this season. Northwest Nazarene, of course, will be in Bellingham at Carver Gym 7 o'clock Saturday to face the Western Washington Vikings. Simon Fraser at 7 p.m. Wilson Wong will be on the play-by-play call as Central Washington visits from Ellensburg. And they have a Bevo Francis nominee on their team. And what that means is he's considered one of the top 100 players in Division 2, 3, NAIA, and JC basketball. And that is a tremendous honor. Central Washington coming in with a marquee name, and should be fun to watch on Saturday starting at 7 o'clock. 11:40 remaining. We mentioned a 7-point deficit earlier in this half, right off the hop here in the start of this first half, but Simon Fraser has battled their way back to the lead. Lefebvre quickly. Talk about no hesitation.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you need out of George Lefebvre. Use your length down low, be quick, and get that ball up out of your hands as quickly as you can. Don't give guys a chance to defend you.
Yeah, he just spun. He wheeled so decisively. A great move by the Vermont transfer, Lefebvre. 44-41, 3-point lead now for the Red Leafs. Here's Fox, shot clock down at 8. They pass it off underneath the basket.
And they grab the rebound. Looked like Lefebvre tipped it, and Oladele quickly scooping it up in the corner.
Taking away the second chance opportunities, Jake said right off the top, is going to be key tonight. And we've seen that throughout. Simon Fraser following the game plan. Here's Penny, explodes to the basket. Takes a wide swath there off the window, can't get it to go.
Yeah, you're not going to get all those shots to drop. That's basketball. We know that. But I like that they're being quick and decisive. Penny's driven a few times. We saw Lefebvre on the last possession grab that ball, spin, and go up. When this SFU offense works quickly, I think they seem to end up being a little bit more efficient and finding ways to score a little bit more effectively than when they're sitting back and more patient.
You nailed it. Right, it's been the theme of this half, Jake. It's been their ability to just continue to believe in themselves and go right to work and not get into a finesse game here with this Nazarene team that's very physical in the half court. Spin move by Allen, shot clock down to 8, pivoting like a dervish underneath, finds Fox in the paint, right to the window. That pass came out of the paint so quickly that when Fox took that first step, the defense froze and he went right to the rim. 44-43 the score. Simon Fraser with the ball and a 1-point lead here. Penny weaves, finds Jamal Wright. The skip to Lefebvre. He's displaced to the ball, but he's going to get fouled on his way to the basket.
That was great. Jamal Wright looked like he might shoot in the corner there, decides to take a step, and then a few steps towards the basket opened up a passing lane to George Lefebvre, who found a way to get himself to the free throw line, which, it's good to see SFU doing again here in the second half. We mentioned that right out of the break, that, it was a great start for SFU getting to the stripe, but it tailed off towards the end of that first half.
True Allen, the leading scorer on the team, getting called for his first personal foul of the game. Lefebvre missing from the free throw line. We mentioned both of these teams struggle mightily from the stripe, and we've seen some examples of that throughout. For Simon Fraser, though, as Jake said at the start of this half, the mindset's got to be to get to the stripe, and you got to play some attack-minded basketball to get there. That one going out of bounds. It'll be Nazarene basketball.
Yeah, Oladele looked like he was going to grab that rebound on the missed second free throw, but just couldn't quite get it, and it fumbled around a little, and they just couldn't scoop one up. But
here's Terashima. He'll go right to True Allen. past the midway mark of this second half. Allen, he is...
What a block.
What a job by Lefebvre underneath.
I mean, Zaborniak played some good D as well, and hits
Oh,
a three.
and Jimmy Z pulls up for three. Basketball gods on his side there. Some great karma from his defense at the other end of the floor, but right down the floor they come. Andrew Farron, the 6'10", 220-pound senior. The backup center attacks the rim, and he's going to get to the free throw line.
Jamal Wright called for that foul. But going back to that block, Zaborniak played some really good D, and then Lefebvre was the second man in, gets the block, they move up the floor, and Zaborniak hits the three at the other end. You know, when you're playing good, tight defense at one end, you're going to get rewarded at the other.
Yeah, an axiom of basketball, and you love to see that kind of stuff come into play. Great karma for the Red Leafs here as Farron knocks down the free throw, makes it a 2-point game.
Big man hitting both from the line. You know, and then you mentioned coming in, they're the lowest percentage free throw shooting team in the GNAC, but it hasn't really been an issue for them tonight. They haven't gotten to the line a lot, but it feels like they've been efficient when they've gotten there.
Yeah, it really has. And
I don't have the numbers in front of me, and but when we get an update, we'll certainly talk about that again.
Not a lot of free throw chips for the Nighthawks, but seem to be upping themselves in that category. Oh, that's a... Oh, it's going to be a turnover as they
called a travel.
They called the travel. I guess he lost his pivot. I thought he held it. He extended deep. Tough break there for Lefebvre. He's going to come off the floor now. Stone back onto the floor along with Oladele and Wright, Zaborniak, and Jovan Rai, number 0, as well on the floor. Jovan Rai averaging just under 9 minutes a game. Here's True Allen. Elects to drive on Zaborniak, fading from 3 off the front of the iron into the hands of Bergerson. Terashima back to Bergerson for 3 again. This time he makes no mistake.
And as he hits that shot, we mentioned earlier he might have hurt his wrist right near the end of that first half. He was banged up. It looks like it's taped up, but he looked good on that shot there, so clearly no ill effects.
Yeah, you're right. He's got the black tape around the wrist of his shooting hand as he favored that. Look at Wright come on the baseline. Jamal Wright determined. He knew he was going to get at least the contact to get to the free throw line, so he did it with authority, and he's going to get there.
It was Yaru Harvey that got called for the foul, but it could have been any of the 3 Nighthawks in the vicinity.
Yeah, a magnet to the SFU senior Jamal Wright, who came into this campaign really with the most weight on his shoulders, I think, just about anybody. Him and Penny, I think, were the 2 guys, but Wright is the senior on this team.
And, you know, this team looks up to him as a leader, and you see that if you're around campus or if you're talking to any of these players. You know, Jamal Wright is well respected amongst his peers.
Coming in here as a Division I transfer from Maryland Eastern Shore. Came through the portal to Simon Fraser, and what an addition he's been. Here's Terashima, the full 94, and he puts up a runner. He wanted a call. He's got his hands up in the air. He's not going to get it, but he does get his team to within 1.
You know, I think NNU's probably got a case here. There's been a few shots they've hit where it looked like there was a lot of contact, and, you know, I don't know how SFU would have been able to argue if there were some and ones called on a few of those in this half.
Tough break there for Terashima, a terrific player. Zach Stone toes the line.
That looked like he went back.
Looked like an over and back. But no one on that Northwest Nazarene staff is approaching the officials.
And Jamal Wright looked like his ankle got rolled on top of underneath the basket there. He is in pain for sure. Like that was a crazy sequence, just some sloppiness. It looked like Zach Stone might have gone over and back. Luckily, Jamal Wright is back up and able to walk to the bench under his own power. That looked like it could have been bad, so hopefully Jamal,
a little bit of a rubber band there. Because he definitely looked like he heard it, and he just sprung back up. So,
and through all of that, I did hear one of the officials give a warning to the SFU bench. So there's a lot of hollering going. Obviously, the over and back, there was a potentially missed foul. A lot of craziness that happened in that one possession there, and obviously culminating with the injury under the basket, and hopefully Jamal Wright is okay.
Great night of basketball as the Simon Fraser dance team hits the floor. As we mentioned, Wilson Wong will have the call of Central Washington at Simon Fraser Saturday, 7 o'clock. Filipino Heritage Night follows a week from today when Western Oregon comes to town. And on January the 28th, a week this Saturday, St. Martin's, with that 5-2 record currently, they took in tonight, will be here for another 7 o'clock, and that's a 4-game homestand for Simon Fraser. And it's a chance, I mean, from tonight right through, right, to actually really turn your season around from that slow start and really kind of try and get back into the thing here in the GNAT. Yeah,
and when you look, a lot of teams they're playing are kind of going to be battling with, if SFU wants to make the postseason, they're going to have to beat these teams that are coming into the West Gym over the next couple weeks. So very important games, as you mentioned. It's got to start with this one. They're down 50-49. There's 7:38 left. If SFU really wants to start this homestand off on a good foot and set themselves up, to potentially build a few wins here, get themselves back into contention, it's going to start here tonight. And one more thing to mention, next Saturday's game, puppy therapy night at the West Gym. So if you're a dog lover,
is that this coming Saturday?
Next
Saturday.
Week.
Okay.
Yes, next week.
Therapy.
The 28th. Yes, there will be puppies available to be played with and.
Maybe we can get one here at the broadcast location. I'm a dog lover. I'll take a dash hound, and I'll be good with that. Terashima, as we get back to live action, little scoop shot off the window. He saw the contact coming, and he put the shot up, and he's going to get the opportunity now. Zach Stone getting called for the foul.
Yeah, that was one that SFU wasn't going to get away with. As I mentioned before, there was a few shots earlier in this half where Gabriel Murphy was taking a lot of contact and finishing at the rim, and they weren't getting the calls. And of course, now they've found a way to the free throw line.
Kobe Terashima will take the free throws as subs come in now, as Jalen Fox comes in for wearing number 2 for Northwest Nazarene as well, number 13, Mason Mikado.
It's been a very swift rotation for NNU. I mean, with the short bench, that's inevitable, and guys in, guys out, moving around very quickly.
And a guy who started 15 games for them out of 15 coming in who hasn't played, their top shot blocker, Christian Rose, a 6'2", 205 redshirt sophomore from San Diego, has not seen the floor here. So luckily they got Fox back, but Rose not in the group today. Here's Stone, finds
Zaborniak,
exactly. Yeah. Stone gets it back. Oh, so close. On the baseline, thought he had it. But he's drawing a crowd every time he touches the basketball now. Terashima with the basketball. Stone out to guard him. Terashima the lob and the flush underneath. And that's going to be Andrew Farron.
Farron sneaking in behind the defense, giving himself a target, and that's a big bucket for NNU as they extend the lead to 5.
So a 5-point lead now. Simon Fraser in a game of ebbs and high tides and low tides, let's say. Simon Fraser in a bit of a dip right now, trying to find their way out of a hole here. Go to Hilton underneath. Nigel reverse underneath, and a great basket by the freshman.
You mentioned Zach Stone's high post passing earlier. There's a great example of what he can do from the outside, distributing the basketball as a big.
Yeah, you're right. Really threading the needle, and some real great work in tight quarters by Hilton, who's got 6 in the game. Here's Fox, the drive, the dish outside. Long 3 is not going to draw iron here, as Terashima's off the mark. Jamal Wright, who we thought was injured a few minutes ago, took a short break. He's now back into the game. Hilton will take a seat. Nigel Hilton, as he grows and develops more of that game, his point per minute production is going to be outstanding.
Oh, absolutely. And, when you look at this SFU team and the potential for growth from these freshmen with how they score the basketball, Oladele, Hilton, Zaborniak, all of them. Oh, it's a travel.
Oladele called for the travel as he tried to power through the defense.
But back to that point there, they all have the ability to score the basketball in different ways. Oh, and that's a quick inbound from NNU.
And then it's going to be Harvey laying it up underneath.
They caught SFU sleeping.
And that one will make it a 5-point game. Hilton, after a short break, is already back up at the minor officials table to check back into the game. Jamal Wright, Zaborniak. Stone battling against Murphy underneath, but comes up high to set a screen for Oladele, getting a little physical. Oladele put the hand out at the last second, and as Harvey falls, the whistle blows. That's a tough one for Oladele. And he will take a seat. Key time of the game here with 5 minutes remaining for Simon Fraser. They need to turn the flow of this game around and wrest back the momentum here as they're down by 5 and defending against a suddenly dangerous Northwest Nazarene team. A miss there by Murphy, a rebound by Stone, now Zaborniak. Here comes the freshman. Zaborniak drives in, looking for Hilton. And drawing the charge and showing the emotion underneath, Bergerson, or rather Terashima. This one looking a little reminiscent of the Anchorage game that, or rather the Anchorage game that Northwest Nazarene won earlier before coming in here. They took a 48-47 win over Anchorage in a real close, low-scoring game, and shades of that here as they continue to play physical defense. Bergerson, Terashima now to Harvey underneath, tries to skip it. They'll keep possession of the ball, 4:19 remaining in the game, 20 on the shot clock. Here is
quick double team, and
Murphy.
It works.
Quickly, Stone gets the ball, and very quickly, here comes Penny. Quickly to Hilton.
And
this time it goes the other way.
Yeah,
it finally goes the other way. And the blocking foul called against Nazarene, and I can tell you, the way Nigel Hilton was going, Yaru Harvey felt that one as he went crashing to the pine.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a limp getting up to. We'll see. Hopefully he can shake it off. Yeah, he just gave a thumbs up, so.
Hey, nobody wants to step off the floor right now for either team in this contest. A 5-point game here, 4:11 remaining, and Harvey with a chance with the clock stopped to cut further into that lead. Or rather, Hilton.
Yes, and going back, that whole possession started on the inbound. They double-teamed Murphy right away, and they were able to force a turnover. 4:11 left on the clock. You're gonna have to increase your number of possessions here, down 5. You can't let NNU run this clock down. You're gonna need to force some more turnovers.
And that was a perfect example, as you point out, to be aggressive and just go for what you know here as Hilton knocks down the free throw. So a 4-point game here, 56-52. Simon Fraser puts on the pressure. Here's Allen, True Allen quickly. Finds Harvey. Yaru with under 9 on the shot clock now. Bergerson right into the paint. Stone with a block and rips it away. Zach Stone with a great defensive play. Jimmy Zaborniak. Bodies falling in the paint as Hilton and Bergerson collide underneath. Is Hilton getting called for the foul here?
I know the SFU bench was trying to call a timeout. They were urging Jimmy Zaborniak to advance the ball so that they could call that timeout there. Still not quite sure what happened and what the call on the floor was.
Referee made a fist. Was it? No.
We'll find out as we break out from the timeout here.
Exactly. 56-52, 3:35 remaining. Boy, Zach Stone, we've talked about him in so many positive ways today. And that last block that he got was really key.
And even more key was that he snatched it and he held on to that ball and didn't give NNU a chance for an offensive rebound.
Looking at these numbers here. The first double-figure scorer is Oladele, 10 points today, 7 rebounds, 2 steals. He's had a solid outing. And as well, 8 points for Penny, 8 points for Demaculangan, and 8 points for Zaborniak. Or Hilton, rather. Hilton is 3 of 3 from the field. 16 points for Gabriel Murphy, 16 points, 8 rebounds. Simon Fraser not giving up a lot of second chance stuff tonight, which is a positive for them. Yaru Harvey also in double figures with 11 points.
And I think one of the most telling stats is, it was something we talked about earlier, NNU is 5 for 5 from the free throw line. That's, you know, when it's something your team struggles with, and then you're able to overcome that. You know, they're up by 3 right now. If they're 2 for 5 from the free throw line, there's no lead.
You're right about that, Jake. 5 of 5 from the free throw line in the second half. They're shooting 46% from the field. Simon Fraser shooting a red-hot 53%. They're 10 of 19, including 4 of 7 from 3. And they are 5 of 8 from the free throw line.
So SFU's got the ball on the baseline, so they were keeping possession.
Here's Zaborniak. 16-footer is good for Jamal Wright. What a game here. Strap yourselves in for the final 3.5 minutes. True Allen now will bring the ball up the court for Northwest Nazarene. Yaru Harvey. Terashima, the drive underneath to Murphy, doesn't go. The follow does, though. And a great job there underneath by Mikado for the lay-in. 3 minutes remaining. Simon down by 4. David Penny for the Red Leafs. Jamal Wright, who just scored the basket, to Stone. Murphy right up to the arc of the 3 to guard him. Here's Penny. Drives into the paint. Whistle blows, and I think True Allen is going to get called for the foul.
Down by 4. These are going to be 2 very important free throws for David Penny. He's got to knock these both down.
Penny shooting 83% from the stripe coming in, so he's done a really good job.
Yeah, he's the guy you want there if you're the Red Leafs.
And the foul indeed against True Allen now, who has 3 with 2:44 remaining.
No announcer's jinx on that one, luckily.
Penny's playing too well for any of that stuff tonight, which is good from an SFU Red Leafs perspective. 58-56. Simon Fraser down by 2, back on defense here. Can they get the stop? 2:33 remaining. Here's Harvey. Mikado back out to Allen. Jamal Wright keeping Allen outside of the arc. Murphy sets a screen. Allen driving 4 on the shot clock. The runner is going to go.
Over a wall of SFU defenders getting their hands up. That was a great finish by Allen.
And it was a dagger to the Red Leafs with 2:07 remaining. A 4-point lead back to a 2-possession lead. Here's Stone with the basketball. Puts the pressure on the Red Leafs to score on this possession. Under 2 minutes remaining. Stone for 3. Oh, just misses and into the hands of Harvey. Oladele into reach and tried to get that one. Thought he could get a jump ball, but instead is going to get called for the foul.
And Stone had a good look. They closed out. It just rattled out. And impressively, Stone almost was able to rebound his miss. He went right into the paint after putting that shot up, but couldn't quite get there. And then Oladele gets called for the foul as he tries to wrestle that ball away.
And that was a courageous hoop by True Allen at the other end of the floor, though, as he went through the defense and put up that flare of a runner that found the bottom of the basket. A miss there on that free throw.
And we mentioned free throws, and NNU misses one here, but ball goes off Zach Stone's fingertips, so they're going to keep the ball. Although the refs are chatting that it looked like Gabriel Murphy might have gotten his hand in there, but it's likely going to remain NNU ball on the baseline.
As they call a timeout here with 1:52 remaining. Close call for the Simon Fraser Red Leaf women today on the road, losing, almost forcing double overtime, Jake, but losing to Montana State Billings in a heartbreaker. And Simon Fraser, the men right now, trying to avoid the same fate. I mean, they're going to need some things to happen for them.
We're actually going to a review here to see if that ball, who's going to have the possession of that ball.
I do see the referees. You're right. Looking at the computer courtside here at the West Gym. An overturning of that call will be huge for Simon Fraser.
And there is a camera right down at that end of the floor, so hopefully a clear view that can determine whose fingertips were on that ball last before heading out of bounds. And this is it's a huge moment in this game. You know, a 4-point game. If SFU can get the ball back, they can make this a one-possession game. If they don't, I mean, hey, NNU's got a chance to maybe put it away here with 1:52 left.
And great camera angles here provided for the referees by our camera crew, and that's Katie Zagari's camera there right on the baseline that the officials are looking at right now as well. Jose Castro manning the other camera in the building today, and our producer, of course, Eitan Weisfeld. We thank them for their great work here in bringing you GNAC basketball from the West Gym.
And officials are conferring now. We're still waiting to figure out whose ball this is.
I think we've got a crew of firefighters up there.
We do, and it's going to be SFU ball.
There you go.
And yes, the firefighters here. Welcome to the West Gym.
Welcome to the West Gym.
To Burnaby's finest.
And there are some figurative flames on the court right now as this one heats up in the last 2 minutes. A call goes the Red Leafs' way, and Jamal Wright will inbound the basketball. The officials take a look at the game film and overturn the call.
Yeah, that was a huge moment, and the refs made sure the call was correct on the floor, and we'll see what SFU can do with this possession.
Here's Penny, reversal. Stone puts it on the deck, back to Zaborniak. Jimmy Z pulls up from 17. Oh, back iron, doesn't go. Allen wrestles home the rebound. Still a lot of time here, but Simon Fraser's got to make this possession from their perspective count defensively. And you know what? Nazarene thinks they can put the game away or start to do so with a made basket here.
Yeah, they haven't taken many threes today, but you know this is a situation where if they can knock one from deep, it's going to put a ton of pressure on the Red Leafs.
They shot with the worst percentage in the GNAC at 29.5% from the arc, have these Nazarene Nighthawks. Oh, there's Allen. That wild shot's not going to go. Murphy with a big rebound, though. And there's that offensive rebounding stat coming to life in the late going here for the Nighthawks. 1 minute remaining. Terashima. Right to the rim, he lays it up and in. The sea parts for him to get to the iron. And that's a big basket with a 6-point lead. Simon Fraser will call for time.
Yeah, that's, that was a clutch possession by NNU. Gabriel Murphy obviously attacking that offensive glass, doing what they do best, lets them run some more time off that clock, and then Terashima bringing the ball right to the rack, finding a way to drop that in. That was about everything you could have expected from an NNU perspective, using up a ton of time and ending up with 2 points on the board.
Yeah, and you know what? You look at how that play develops, and it's 1 point of hesitation off his dribble that makes everything freeze, because everybody reacts to each subsequent move that Terashima makes, and he's able to turn the corner and get to the rim 62-56. Well, the Red Leafs have had their moments here tonight, and they're battling. This conference is so tough, top to bottom, that if you're not ready to play every night for the full 40, you're going to have your share of L's. But this Simon Fraser team, a ton of heart. And we'll see what they can do here as they try to erase a 6-point lead in the final 45 seconds. Here's Zaborniak. Penny, baseline against True Allen, cross court for three. Bingo! Oh, Ladele!
From his spot in the corner, what a clutch shot by the freshman.
He's just put a chair there for him. That's his spot on the court here in the West Gym, and the freshman with the ice-veined 3-point shot.
He was deep in the corner, too. That is not an easy shot. You know, anytime you're lined up behind the backboard and, there's no margin for error when you're shooting from back there.
That was a clutch shot. And he makes it a one-possession game, 36.6 seconds left. And from Northwest Nazarene's perspective, they've answered these Simon Fraser buckets down the stretch, right? I mean, they've been equal to the task. What does Simon Fraser have to do defensively?
It's tough. I mean, with 36.6, I think if you're NNU, you're going to want to chew as much clock as you can. if you're SFU, if you can try and get a steal here, maybe something quick in transition, give yourself some time and, put more pressure on NNU. I mean, look, if you foul and they end up going to the line here in the bonus, hey, we know they're not the best they're not the best free throw shooting team. I'm not going to say intentionally foul, but I'm going to say if you got a chance to swipe a ball here, go for a steal, put a full court press on, which looks like they're doing, absolutely.
Simon Fraser coming into the game, middle of the pack, number 5 in steals in the GNAC, and number 1 in the conference in block shots. We'll see what happens. Ooh, and very quickly, as Harvey gets across half court, the foul called on Oladele.
It's a great job by NNU to get the ball up over half. Made a few really good passes in the backcourt there with the full court press on from the Red Leafs.
And they will send Yaru Harvey to the free throw line, the Sacramento, California native. And the D1 drop them from the University of Portland is going to miss the first free throw.
And just like I said, right, if you end up fouling, I mean, you're going to put the pressure on a bad free throw shooting team to make some clutch shots. And they've been great from the line all day, and now they're struggling in crunch time.
Can Harvey do it on the second? Nice backspin there to get it to make it a 4-point game. So Simon Fraser, 28 seconds to go. Penny, David sees it in midair to Lefebvre underneath the skip, back to Penny. Back up top, Stone tries to shake his defender, loses the basketball. Oladele, 3-ball goes in and out. Tough break there, right with a big rebound. Jamal down to 10 seconds. Oladele the 3, off the front iron. Penny the board, right the 3, bingo in, 3.7 seconds remaining. It's a 1-point game.
Took 3 opportunities, and then Jamal Wright, who's not known to be a long-distance shooter, clutch hits one. It's a 1-point game with just under 4 seconds to play.
How many boards did Simon Fraser get? 2 or 3 right on that possession?
At least 3. I saw Penny grab one. We saw Jamal Wright grab one. That's what you got to do. And, hey, we're going to see a foul, obviously, by SFU, and they're going to send NNU to the line. Those are going to be some tough free throws for the Nighthawks, and there's plenty of time with 3.7 left that if SFU can get that foul quick, they don't have any timeouts left. So, it's going to be tough after those free throws get taken, but certainly this game's not over yet.
63-62, Nazarene by a point over SFU. What a tremendous, dramatic finish we are getting here down the stretch drive as Simon Fraser trying desperately to win their first home game of the GNAC campaign. The Northwest Nazarene looking to win for the 4th time in the conference and move to 500. What is in store here as the teams talk things over? You see the rookies growing up before your eyes, though, in terms of getting these incredibly pressurized reps. And Oladele, I mean, he's not a rookie anymore, if you ask me.
No, but pressure, great. That's a great point. When you think about this here, you got 3.7 seconds, no timeouts. There's no room for error. If you manage a steal or great. Well, you got 3.7 seconds. You got to be quick on your decision making. And then, of course, if you get an opportunity to foul, you got to make sure you do it.
Burgesson quickly to True Allen. Are they going to foul him? With 1.1, that's a late whistle. Simon Fraser tried to foul immediately, but the clock went down to 1.1 seconds.
Yeah, that was tough. And like I mentioned, that's a pressure situation. When you got that opportunity, you need to get that intentional foul as quickly as you can. You don't have time to let a second tick off. You got to get in there, get the call, get the whistle, and some clutch free throws here for NNU. Now you're going to have to hit the first one for sure.
Sure seemed to be, but here they go with True Allen at the free throw line, missing the first. Pressure mounting here.
So now, Howie, what do you do here? Do you intentionally miss this one? Do you try and hit it to give yourself the 2-point lead? What are we going to see?
I mean, if Simon Fraser is going to do anything, they're probably going to hit a 3. So,
Yeah, I think you got to miss this and let that clock run out.
See what True Allen does here. Well, he's trying to make it, and he does. 1.1 seconds remaining. Simon Fraser needs the the Hail Mary to fall.
Yeah, and NNU's going to take their time out here. Yeah,
wow.
with 1.1, it's gonna be tough. Hopefully, Steve Hansen's here drawing something up, coming up with something creative to get a quick look. But I don't know. I almost would have intentionally missed that free throw. Force SFU to rebound and heave a full court shot with 1 second left on the clock.
And now you give him a chance to set something up here from Northwest Nazarene's perspective. You're right about that.
Now, that being
I thought
said,
for a second that True Allen, it looked like he was going to do that.
It looked like it, and then it went right in. Now, that being said, if you're in NU, you hit that shot, you call your timeout, so you can set up a defense. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like the percentages probably would have favored you if you were forcing a full court shot after a rebound. But
here comes Simon Fraser. It's Oladele, Penny, Wright, Stone, and Lefebvre. They were thinking of subbing Zaborniak in, but they didn't.
Now, if you're NNU, all you got to do is not foul. That's make this tough, but don't foul.
They go to Penny.
That's
going to be it. Penny, was he trying to pass? Yeah.
So Penny was behind the baseline. So obviously they fooled the timekeepers here, and now Steve Hansen's asking if they're getting a timeout. They want to draw something else up, obviously, because of the error. But yeah, that wasn't an inbound to David Penny. They were behind the baseline the whole time, and that seemed to fool everybody.
So 1.1 remaining, and they called the time. Okay, here we go. Back to live action now.
They're drawing the same play.
Stone, he's got to get rid of it. He does. Good if it goes. Oh! Simon Fraser falls just shy, and they are going to drop this game 64-62.
And that's a tough one. You lost the element of surprise, obviously, when that clock started. I liked the idea. It's a great idea to switch your inbounder, move that ball up quickly. And look, Zach Stone had an opportunity. It's a tough shot. He was moving in a tough spot. And, what a basketball game, though, right down to the last possession.
It was a terrific basketball game, a heartbreaker for Simon Fraser, but what terrific display here from Simon Fraser. They gave their hometown crowd everything but the victory here today. And as we look at this final box score, the Northwest Nazarene squad led by the 16 points today and the 9 rebounds, the near double-double of Gabriel Murphy, 12 points from Yaru Harvey and 10 points from True Allen, 13 points and 7 rebounds from the freshman Oladele, 10 points from Penny, and 8 apiece from 3 players, Jamal Wright, Elliott Tamaki Langan, and Nigel Hilton. A tough one. Simon Fraser's got to put this behind him. There's still a lot of games left in this season. 1-7 is not the record you wanted to have after 8 games, Jake, but they've got Central coming in here on Saturday, and they got to turn around and get ready.
And when you look at the next 2 opponents in this gym are Central Washington and Western Oregon, who are just in front of you in the standings. So, I mean, you would have loved to win this game if you're SFU, but you got to look forward now to those next 2 games.
They're home games. You got to win them when you're here at Burnaby Mountain, and we'll see what happens then. Hey, Jake, thanks for everything tonight. Great job.
Thanks for having me on.
In the analyst chair, and to everybody on the crew and our producer as well. Thank you for joining us on Red Leaf TV. Wilson Wong will have the call Saturday when Central Washington comes here. A 7 o'clock tip right here from the West Gym. I'm Howard Samura, back with you in a while, and have a safe trip home or wherever you're going here from everyone at Simon Fraser and to our viewing audience. Right back at you again on Saturday.